Hi, this is Toby, and today we'll be taking a look at Astrophytum capricorne. Now, Astrophytum capricorne is a species of Astrophytum in the star cactus, and it's one of those species with a lot of spines and a very pretty flower. So today we'll be taking a closer look at this species. So from the Coahuila regions of Mexico, Astrophytum capricorne is a very beautiful cactus with its spines mimicking the dry grass in the surroundings that it lives in. And that is true with most Astrophytum capricorns. They will have spines, although with some younger specimens the spines will not form yet. And however they will form, and you can see this is just a regular Astrophytum capricorn. It's got a bunch of spines. This is my Astrophytum capricorn senile viesca, and it's got a lot of spines as well. And it has a flower. With most Astrophytum capricorns, you will get the typical yellow Astrophytum flower with a very beautiful red throat like that. So that's really nice. And you can see some of them have different shapes of spines, but these do have some cultivars, and obviously this one is senile. And you got Senilus verorum, a yellow spine one with barely any of the white little flecks or trichomes, which I'll talk about later. And this is one called Crassispinioides with a pure yellow flower. And I know there's a lot more. There's Crassispinum with rigid spines, and there's also Nivium, which looks a bit different as well. Care for Astrophytum capricorne is relatively easy once you get the hang of it. So these guys love full sun, and I find that the more sun you give, the better the spines. So although this guy is just forming his first spines, you can see they're very, very long and curly. And same with that one, the older spines, which when I got it, it was probably not growing in as strong as of a light as now. But you can see that the new spines are extremely long, and same with this. We look at the old spines, which I had this plant around 2 or 3 years ago. It's a small little cluster with short spines, but now that it's in full sun every day, you get masses of long twisting spines, which is a really, really good feature of this plant. But be careful not to accidentally snap them. They are quite brittle. So when you handle them, please handle them with care and try not to break the spines. And with the little white flecks or trichomes or specks, whatever you want to call them, if you touch your plant too much, they will come off as well. So don't rub your plant too much. But I find with the capricorns, it's not that hard to rub off because of the spines. Again, flowers will open at around just past midday into the afternoon. So if you have a plant that is flowering, be sure not to miss it. And they usually flower about this size. So I'd say if a plant is around 4 or 5 years old, it should be able to flower or this size. They do grow slowly, and once they do get mature, they will get relatively big. They could get around that size width and around almost a foot high. So that's in the future, but when they are young, they still look like little stars, and they're quite globular, you can see. And they do produce their flower buds in the warmer months, so their flowering season is usually around summer. And right here, we're just into the start of summer, and you can see I have one flowering. I will try and get a better picture of this flower tomorrow, but that is the flower. Watering for these plants is simple. I would water once every 2 weeks, or in hotter temperatures, once a week. But you have to be careful with the watering. I find that they do tolerate dryness a lot more than the myriostigmas, so you can water a bit more scarcely. And with soil, again, good draining soil. You want the drainage to be really good with these guys. Sometimes they may have a longer, slightly longer taproot like this guy, which is in a deeper pot, but generally you can keep them in one of these pots. And if your drainage is really good and you put them in a ventilated area that is not humid, especially in winter, you don't want there to be humidity, then you should be good and you wouldn't really experience any problems. During winter, you'd want to keep your Astrophytum capricorne totally dry, no water at all in the winter. I do that with my Astrophytum capricorns, and they do not suffer. And temperatures, I recommend keeping them above 5 degrees Celsius, but for very short periods of time, they can tolerate very light frost. But again, I don't recommend putting any of your cacti in frost. So 5 degrees Celsius is the limit, I would say, for long periods of time. You don't want them too warm, because if they start growing during the winter, you're going to have some problems. So keep them dry and cool in the winter, but not too cold. So I was gonna leave that video there yesterday, but I just want to show you the beauty of the flower again today, and luckily I can get home early today just to show you it opened fully. Look at that beautiful red throat. And one thing I find interesting, it has 8 little stigma things, just like it has 8 ribs. So that's a very beautiful flower, very vibrant red throat, a very good characteristic of most Capricorn flowers. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video on Astrophytum Capricorn, and I do recommend you get this plant for yourself if you can. Again, there's different types, I'll name them at the end, but thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.